They trailed 2-1 in that match, and Ryan McGuire told his team, are we done or are we moving on? And they flipped a switch and got it done against a very scrappy Pepperdine team.
It's a very close serve. It just missed there by Yasi Presley as Lexi Sun lets that one go long. Coach McGuire of Baylor told us prior to the match, we have to win that serve pass game. And I'll tell you, Courtney, I have to admit, I was thinking doing that against Nebraska is a really tall order, but Baylor holding their own here early in set one.
Yeah, and especially, Missy, after what Nebraska did serve and pass-wise in the first round against Texas State. John Cook told us those were their best passing numbers of the season. Kara McGee behind the service line for the Bears. Kubik out and no touch. And Nebraska has to call a timeout here. Baylor has come out powerful, on top by 5 points here in the opening set. Winner moving on to the regional final. Finished second in the Big 12. They played 4 matches against Texas. Weren't able to win any of those, but they really pushed the Longhorns and didn't allow them to hit over 300 in any of those matches.
And interestingly, they are in the same quadrant of this bracket. So if there's anyone who would like another chance at the Longhorns, it's Baylor, but they'll have to make their way through Nebraska first. And Maddie Kubik doing everything she can right now to make sure that's not possible. Big kill by Maddie and much needed for Nebraska, who's hitting -375. Prior to that swing, they had only 1 kill and 4 errors. That'll be 2 kills now for Nebraska.
These attackers got to find a way to get past this Baylor block. And another point for Baylor.
And it's going to come off of another swing from the outside, but this time it's not Yasi Presley, as it's Lauren Harrison who has her 3 rotations across the front row right now. She is a transfer from North Carolina. This is her first NCAA tournament ever. And wow, you would never know it the way she's playing, looking so confident out there.
Lexi Sun with the roll shot, and it works. Lexi Sun, the Texas transfer who has settled in nicely for Nebraska, their leader in kills per set.
We talked about Maddie Kubik being such a great 6 rotation outside hitter. Well, opposite her is Lexi Sun, and it's hard to find 2 great 6 rotation outside hitters on the same team in college volleyball, and yet that's just what Nebraska has.
Really tight set. Hannah Sedgwick was able to get it off, but it's an attacking error point, Nebraska.
Sedgwick carrying setting duties right now for Baylor. She is their taller setter at 6'1", an All-American a season ago. They also have Callie Williams, who will at times set across the back row, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Harrison on the swing. They push it to Sun. Down the line. And there was a touch on the ball. Ryan McGuire is up on his feet on the Baylor bench.
Baylor players don't like this call. And if anything, it has to be that right hand of Vandermark there, who's 10 in green. As she comes up, nice press over. She leaves a little line, challenging Lexi Sun to take that swing, which Lexi does.
I don't think she touched it, and Ryan McGuire is going to challenge this. Each team gets 3 challenges. Unless we go to a 5th set, you'll get an additional challenge. The original call was that there was a touch on this ball. So Joe Gustafson is our R2. He will go over to the monitor and take a look.
And again, we're looking for a touch call here, assuming it would have to come off the hands of number 10 in green there, Vandermark, as Lexi Sun takes a rip down the line. I really like the block setup here by Baylor. You can see that they do a good job of closing, pressing over, taking away an area, and they do leave a little line, challenging that outside hitter to say, go ahead, see if you can make this shot happen. And the question is, did Lexi Sun make it happen?
I don't think she touched it, Missy.
I don't see it. I don't see it either, Courtney. The players were very quick to respond, and that is still to this day one of the ways that I really judge these calls is the response of the players, as they always know immediately. I tell you, to steal the words of Coach Cook after round 2, Nebraska looking a little discombobulated. That's what he said after round 2. I think that has a lot to do with who's not in the lineup for them and who is in the lineup for Baylor. Nebraska without
the rest of the match. Yeah, no touch on that ball. So Baylor will have 2 challenges remaining. Nebraska has all 3.
I'll tell you what, going from 11-9 to 12-8 feels like a big swing right there. That is a huge point for Nebraska. Great challenge by Coach McGuire.
So Campbell Bowden will step back to serve after Baylor takes that point. And you make a great point, Missy. Nebraska has looked discombobulated without Lauren Stiverins in the lineup, day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. Lexi Sun, they go back to her, and that time she is able to get a touch off the block.
Nice recovery here by Lexi Sun. After that reverse call, she goes right back at that block and is able to use the hands of Vandermark that time. But this is a Nebraska team who's playing the style of Baylor right now. All attacks coming from the left side. We are not seeing the middle involvement that we would expect from the Cornhuskers. Great look here as Andressa Parise comes through with a big rip. And we just talked about the lack of middle blocker attack, but Parise getting involved. She's a player who had not played this spring because of some shin injuries. She made her start in the tournament. Looked really good for them, and they were hoping her health would be there. As she subs out, we're now going to see 17 in green in the middle for Baylor. That's Kara McGee, a much more experienced middle for them. We'll see if they can continue to push the middle here.
Got to get a good pass to do that. They do, but they'll go right side to Vandermark, who is stuffed. Maddie Kubik and Kayla Caffey.
This is what Baylor wants when they have a good pass, to be able to spread the offense. With Vandermark back out on the court, they feel like there's some kills there to be had, but a huge close there by Caffey as she comes over and takes care of that one.
Overpass, Nebraska gets it right back. Hames can run in the middle with Kayla Caffey. And Missy, that's the first time a middle has taken a swing for Nebraska.
Yeah, crazy to think we're at 13-12 and the Nebraska middles finally getting involved. It's Caffey, who of course you're going to see primarily in front of the setter. That's her bread and butter. Stiverins so good behind the setter. That's what Nebraska's missing.
Lexi Sun with a tip out of the back row. Bram Schreiber did not get the pancake down. Yeah, just to give you an idea of how much they use these middles, Nebraska's middles combined to hit 615 with 19 kills in their second round win.
Wow. Again, you see that triple block up for Baylor, and perhaps the only risk there is that it's one fewer player to pick up off speed. Lexi Sun realizes that and uses the off speed to her advantage. And you see right there, Lexi Sun motioning, move on, move on. There are going to be swings that look like that from Yassiana Presley. She's going to get hers, absolutely no question. Can you move on to the next play, immediately side out, and prevent that big momentum swing from creating a run for Baylor? That's the challenge now for Nebraska.
And Baylor went on a nice serving run with Emily Van Slate behind the service line last time out. Ryan McGuire just dug that ball for Baylor, unfortunately. Doesn't count. Point for Nebraska.
And after the success there of Caffey in the middle, you see Nicklin Hames wisely choose to set behind, challenging that Baylor block to have to defend all across the front line.
Welcome to Omaha, Nebraska, the site of this year's NCAA Volleyball Championship. Courtney Lau alongside All-SEC setter Missy Whittemore. We have the 12 and the 5 seed battling here in Baylor and Nebraska. The biggest news of this match was before first serve, Lauren Stivrins, the two-time All-American middle for Nebraska, unavailable with an undisclosed injury. And that's a huge loss, Missy, for Nebraska, and they have looked a little shaky early on in this match.
Absolutely, and you feel like their minds were just reeling a bit as they maybe were trying to do a little too much. Some of the star players feel like they have to step up, which is certainly the case, but it's not going to happen in one point. They're going to have to play consistent over the course of the match. There's a great look for Callie Schwarzenbach, 25 in white. She is the replacement today for Lauren Stivrins, and Nebraska so deep. How would you like to have a replacement who was a Big Ten all-freshman team selection a year ago? Well, that's what Callie Schwarzenbach was. Has seen limited playing time this year, but brings a whole lot of experience to the floor for the Cornhuskers.
The middles have been such a big part of Nebraska's attack. They combined to hit 615 with 19 kills in their second round win over Texas State. And Lexi Sun on the right pin for Nebraska rolls it.
And Lexi Sun just playing really smart volleyball right now, looking like a senior. Realize you don't have to hit the ball hard every time. And this is something that Coach McGuire said of Nebraska. They know when to take a big swing and they know when to place the ball. And Lexi Sun doing that really well.
A block of Yassiana Presley. Look at Schwarzenbach working the net.
And you see the response from her teammates. They're so happy for her success. A huge block to slow down the reigning National Player of the Year, Yassiana Presley. There's a lot of star power in this one, Courtney.
Baylor is going to call a timeout as it is a 4-1 run by Nebraska. It took them a minute, but looking a little bit more comfortable. They came out and had 4 early attacking errors.
Belong to those 16 teams. 14 of them, Courtney, come from the lower left portion of the bracket. This is a really packed section. So much volleyball history between Texas, Penn State, Nebraska, and then you add to that new team Baylor, who's really making a name for themselves as they were the #1 seed just a season ago.
Yeah, made it to the national semifinals. Baylor did last year as the top seed. Wisconsin is the top seed this year. They handled BYU yesterday in their regional semifinal. Playing to 25, you have to win by 2. It is best 3 out of 5 sets. And a service error from Hannah Sedgwick.
And interestingly, as we see Hannah go back to serve, we realize that they are staying in more of a traditional 5-1. That's where we've times seen Callie Williams come in to serve, play across the back row. Hannah gives them height. She can save tight passes at the net. Coach said Callie gives us foot speed. She can sprint off the net, spin and set. So they have options there. We may still see them make changes over the course of the match.
It's an ace for Nebraska.
Haley Densberger puts a tough ball in play. And to be a serving specialist at Nebraska, you got to be doing something right. Haley Densberger so good from the inline.
Yeah, talk about high expectations for your serve. They definitely put a lot of emphasis on that at Nebraska.
Another kill there for Lauren Harrison as she rotates out. She is part of that 1-2 punch from the left side where you will see the majority of Baylor's offense. Lauren, only a redshirt sophomore, has had a fantastic season and has continued that play on into the tournament.
Overpass, it was tight to the net. Nicolette Hames wins it, and the majority of the time the setter is going to win the joust at the net.
She times this ball so incredibly well. You think she's done this a few times before? I have a feeling she has, Courtney, but she just turns on it. Nice press over the net. She was in control of that the entire way.
Yeah, it's really whoever presses last, and the setters are so used to going up at the net and battling for it. Their timing is usually spot on, and so you'll see those setters win that joust most of the time.
Just no answer for a swing like that. The way she goes up high, over the block. Just absolutely impressive.
And then a service error. That's 4 service errors for Baylor here in the opening set. And Baylor will use its final timeout here of the set. Well, how about the Big Ten in this year's tournament? 6 teams made the field, and all of those teams, including Nebraska, who we have here, advanced to the regional semifinal.
If you're not familiar with that terminology, regional semifinal is a round of 16. So of the 16 teams remaining, 6.
John Cook, a 2-time AVCA Coach of the Year, AVCA Hall of Famer, has 4 of Nebraska's 5 national championships. That's Lexi Sun's 3rd ace. The placement on this, Missy.
Wow. I mean, the bottom absolutely drops out of this ball. And interesting, it's something that the players have talked about in this tournament, the fact that there is a bit of a draft in the convention center. They feel like the ball will tail at times, make some different movements. And obviously it goes both ways. No team has an advantage over the other, but it's something these players have had to get used to.
And Baylor will go to its go-to, the reigning National Player of the Year, Yassiana Presley. She is first in the nation in total attempts.
Look at that, so powerful. Just blasts it through the block, which isn't quite able to close there.
Oh, and you hate to see that. A service error is going to give set point to Nebraska.
Pretty impressive.
5 service errors for Baylor.
Wow, pretty impressive to see Nebraska now hitting 250 after they were below, they were at -300 to start this first set. They have really climbed out of a hole.
Sedgwick dumps it behind her. It was a tight pass and a smart decision from Hannah Sedgwick, the senior.
6'1" setter, has the ability to be offensive at the net. This is a player who was a first-team All-American a season ago. She is very talented, and now we are going to see Callie Williams, who has done some setting for Baylor, into this match. However, with Sedgwick in the front row, she'll be a defensive specialist here for Baylor, something she's very good at with her foot speed.
Second set point for Nebraska. Kubik. Nebraska rallies after hitting negative early on. They move on with a 25-21 victory here in set 1. Wow, what a comeback for Nebraska.
We felt the shockwaves of the absence of Lauren Stivrins, and it seemed like the Huskers felt them early as well, but they turned things.
Baylor started out with the momentum in this match. Nebraska had 4 early hitting errors, was hitting in the negative, and then the Cornhuskers outscored Baylor 19-10 after Baylor held that 11-6 lead. And it's a double contact called on Baylor. And Ryan McGuire is standing up again.
Yeah, absolutely not happy with this. But of course, this is a judgment call, and so not something that they will be able to challenge. But look at that. Again, it's Lexi Sun creating chaos with her off speed, not hitting the ball hard, but being so smart. And I think if you watched Wisconsin last night, we saw that exact same kind of play out of Molly Haggerty, a senior outside hitter who just her team rallied around the way she played so smart. And that's what we're seeing right now from Nebraska. Another senior outside hitter, Lexi Sun.
Now, Missy, on this play, Marika Vandermark goes up and blocks it. The block does not count as a touch. And then she comes down and hits it again. Is that a double contact?
No, the block should not count as a touch. So initially on watching it, I thought the whistle was blown as a double contact on Vandermark, meaning they called that contact unclean, that it didn't come out of her hands in a clean fashion. Double contact, which would result in a point for Nebraska. And as we said, that is not a play that can be challenged. It is a judgment call.
Baylor has already used one of its challenges, and they were successful. Not that it matters, you still lose that challenge. Kayla Caffey in the middle. And Caffey takes her second swing. 3 swings now out of the middle. We've been watching that because Nebraska has had success all season in the middle, but no Lauren Stivrins today.
And Caffey is such a great compliment to Stivrins because her strength is in front of the setter, whereas Stivrins is behind. We saw her against Texas State. Caffey had 9 kills.
Oh, Knuckles with a great up. Jazz Sweet on the right pin. And that's going to be a double contact called on Baylor.
Unfortunately, this one ends with another double contact call, but this rally is all about the play of Knuckles as you see her come diving in. And what Knuckles does so incredibly well is not just make a play on the ball, she makes a transitionable dig. Such great ball control.
Kinsey Knuckles, just a sophomore libero for Nebraska, held that position all last season. Actually played a season of Club Beach before she got to Nebraska to work on those skills. How about that?
How about this play by Jazz Sweet? Talk about find a way. This is not a good situation as the ball is set tight to that right antenna, and she goes up and just fists the ball over. That's what you do. In tournament time, when you've got to have a point, you find a way.
And then they get the ace off the serve. That is 5 straight points now for Nebraska.
And this is where Nebraska is so sneaky good. They do not have a weak server on this team. Pressure in every single rotation.
Baylor's got a call timeout. Nebraska clicking in Omaha in the regional semifinal.
We saw Sweet with a creative punch shot just moments ago that went for a kill, but that time unable to make a play on that set.
Nebraska started out this match hitting in the negative. 4 early hitting errors in that opening set. They rallied to win it. And came out early here in set 2. Presley sends the free ball over. What will Nicklin Hames do? Go to the middle. And Kayla Caffey is stopped.
I really like the idea from Hames here. She knows how important it is to get her middle involved, but that time it was just too straight on. I think that you got to force the Baylor block to move right there. McGee didn't even have to move to make a play on that ball.
Then the service errors have hurt Baylor, though, because that is their 6th service error of the match.
And only 2 aces to show for it, so not exactly the ratio that Baylor's looking for.
There's that fine line of being aggressive with your serve and then getting wild with it. Nebraska has been spot on. Lexi Sun has just tied her career high with 4 aces. She had 3 in the opening set.
Wow, 6 now for Nebraska as a team. And realize as you move further into the tournament, you expect to be facing better passing teams in each round. So these ace numbers from Nebraska in the round of 16 are incredibly impressive.
And Yassiana Presley's ball hits the antenna. That is out. Point for Nebraska. Much better, but a solo stuff. Kayla Caffey.
Kayla Caffey, believe it or not, at 6 foot is considered a bit undersized as a middle blocker, but she has such great anticipation. Her hands get over the net so fast. Really nice job.
Much better pass. Can they convert? They will with their go-to Yassiana Presley.
And she never looks like she wears down, does she, Courtney? I mean, just rip after rip. And, you know, asking a lot of her today in terms of the number of swings she's going to take. We expected to see her perhaps matched up blocking the slide of Stivrins. So that's one thing that's been taken off of her plate. Wow, Caffey, huge rip in front of the setter. This is exactly what Nebraska needs. In the absence of Stivrins, they need some dynamic play out of the middle to get this team fired up. It certainly got the fans fired up. Limited as they are, they liked what they saw right there.
Kayla Caffey, the transfer from Missouri, spent 4 seasons with the Tigers, redshirted a couple of those, and now making a difference in the middle for Nebraska. And Baylor's going to beat the Nebraska block this time with Yassiana Presley. She is up to 8 kills.
Knuckles able to keep that first swing alive off of Presley. Another huge dig from Knuckles to prolong the rally. But you give Yassiana Presley another look, and the second one goes for a kill.
That's 3 straight service errors, though, Missy, for Yassiana Presley. 7 now for Baylor.
The previous 2 from Presley sailed long, Courtney. Notice that time into the net. So it's in her head. She's trying to make an adjustment there, trying to keep the ball in bounds, and takes a little too much off of it that time.
Lauren Harrison on the outside. Nicolette Hames getting tricky.
Gotta like this play from Hames as you see, 25 in white is Callie Schwarzenbach. She's playing in the match today for Lauren Stivrins. Hames knows that she doesn't want to put too much pressure on Schwarzenbach, so she finds a way to get kills of her own.
You know, Nicolette Hames, Missy, is what John Cook calls a gym rat.
Senior play that settled this team in the absence of Lauren Stivrins.
Yeah, Stivrins day to day with an undisclosed injury. We found out before this match that she was not available. The first time in her career she's missed a match. How did Yassi get that
back over? Wow! It's a treat to watch Yassiana Presley play volleyball. She's incredible. They do some really creative things, they being Baylor, in serve-receive to remove her from the serve-receive pattern and free her up to get a full approach at the ball. And you see that's what she's able to do there. She stands in the back corner, not involved in serve-receive. They take that off her plate, and she has that huge approach at the ball out of the back row.
That's one of the reasons Ryan McGuire has liked this 5-2 system that they have been using. We haven't seen it here much, but because that frees her up in serve-receive.
Parise there is able to block the slide from Schwarzenbach, and you know she's got to feel like she probably spent hours preparing for the slide from Nebraska, expecting to see Stivrins on the floor, so they're probably thrilled to have the opportunity to defend the slide.
Hames will go with the slide for Schwarzenbach. Now Kubik. A kill for Maddie Kubik.
It's a really smart swing there by Kubik. You're going to see the slide right back to Schwarzenbach. I love that Hames gives her a second opportunity after the miss. Want to make sure she's feeling confident in this tournament. And then spreading the ball from antenna to antenna, sends one out to Kubik, who finishes it off.
Hannah Sedgwick tries to dump it. The Nebraska block says no thanks.
There she is, 25 in white, Schwarzenbach, looking really, really strong. And no surprise, when you think of the level of competition that she plays with in her gym day in and day out, she is more than prepared.
Kubik a little short on the roll shot out of the back row.
Knowing she has to contend with that block of 2 there in green, and Parise had 9 blocks in their second round match against Pepperdine. As a team, Baylor had 18, but Parise was in on 9 of those herself. Really impressive.
And it was so crazy, Missy, because that was just her 5th appearance of the season.
Exactly. Has had some shin injuries that she's dealt with, but feeling good right now, and they're hoping to keep her going as long as they can.
They had 3 blocking right there, and Lexi Sun did not mind at all.
This is what I call mindful off speed. Young outside hitters, take a lesson. When it's not there, when you've got 3 blockers in your face, you don't just have to tip it over to the defense. Take a look, and Lexi Sun has that ability to hang up there. Take a look, see where the defense is coming from. She has moved her off speed around masterfully. Haley Dinsberger, an ace for her as well, as we see that serve game that defines John Cook's Nebraska team.
Free ball back to Nebraska. Caffey off of 1 foot. Kayla Caffey can do it too.
It will go down as a kill for Caffey, but this is a free ball because of the serve of Haley Dinsberger. Forces Baylor to send a free ball over, and you better terminate on a free ball opportunity in the NCAA tournament.
Caffey's hitting a cool 600. And a service error, but you know what? I bet Nebraska will take that. They have 7 aces and 2 errors.
Absolutely, and the pressure that Dinsberger is creating back there, you know, you're going to get an error from her, and you are absolutely, as a coach, okay to live with that because of the way that she is pressuring the passers for Baylor and creating out-of-system looks.
8th service error for Baylor.
After going deep, 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 Courtney, it looks like Baylor trying to drop some short balls in, and the servers are having a bit of a difficulty adjusting to that mid-match, making that switch from having served a deep ball and now being asked to serve something short. We've seen a couple of them going to the net here.
Presley, oh, Hames got an arm out for it, but Yassiana Presley picks up her 9th kill.
And for Presley, what impresses me with her is not only does she have 9 kills, but hitting above 350. And that's so hard to do when everyone in the gym knows where the ball is going.
Lexi Sun from the right side. Caffey's swing gets them a free ball. And I don't think that one ever cleared the net, so it's 4 contacts on Nebraska.
Yeah, that's definitely the motion that was made by the up official, Courtney, as I could see holding up 4 fingers, saying that that swing from Caffey did not touch the blocker, just into the net.
She's looked like she's gotten some more confidence as this match has gone on. She's taken some pretty big hacks. Jazz Sweet, left side, right side, wherever. Jazz Sweet with the kill.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Courtney. As you see the comfort that these Nebraska players have swinging from either pin. Jazz stays on the left side this time at a serve receive, and that gives you a whole different look there on that left-handed swing from the left side. It's a really good choice there for Nebraska.
Sweet has moved to the right side this season. She lost that spot for a minute, then earned it back, worked so hard, and John Cook feels like she's playing some of her best volleyball right now as Baylor gets the kill.
That was a big swing there from Kara McGee out of the middle. Only a sophomore, but such a huge part of Baylor's run a season ago when they actually were the #1 seed in the tournament. So Kara McGee, a familiar name.
And Nebraska has challenged this. This is the first time John Cook has used a challenge today, so he will have 2 remaining unless we go to a 5th set. Each team will get an additional challenge.
And so we'll try to see if this one is in or out. If any part of the ball touches that white line, then that is considered in. And this one is about as close as it could possibly be. Wow.
It didn't take them long. He's made his decision, and I think it does touch the line, Missy. That was the original call, was that the ball was in. It has to be obvious for them to overturn it.
That's exactly right. You would have to have undisputable evidence for that call to be overturned.
And Baylor will keep the point. Each team with 2 challenges remaining.
And of course, Nebraska not successful, but even if you are, you do not get that challenge back. And I do always wonder if that's something we'll see change in this sport moving forward.
Maddie Kubik off of hands, and Nebraska is the first to 20. They won the opening set 25-21. Their serving has been on another level. It has helped them in this match so much. Even with Yassiana Presley on the other side of the net.
And you see the defense gets pulled up into the court a little bit there for Nebraska. Typically not a problem, but when you're trying to defend Yassiana Presley, who goes up over the block, she swings so high, so hard, has the ability to kill it deep into those corners of the court.
Jazz Sweet off the block.
Tell you what, these pin players for Nebraska all of a sudden making it look easy. After a rocky start, we just saw Maddie Kubik moments ago using the block. We see Jazz Sweet here using the block, not even swinging as hard as they can. And it's so interesting. That's something that Coach McGuire of Baylor pointed out coming into this one. He said they know when to swing hard. They know when to use the block. They know when to use their shots. They're just so well trained, these Nebraska pin players.
Career service error for Nebraska. Kana has been really solid for them behind the service line today. And now Baylor's got some work to do. Callie Williams back to serve. Lexi Sun just rising up out of the back.
Akana comes right back after that missed serve and just nails her pass. It's exactly what you would ask. And then with Lexi Sun coming out of middle back, it gives you a third attacker, even though Nicklin Hames is in the front row. Cannot lose sight of Lexi Sun.
Nebraska 3 points away from taking set 2. And that's going to be 4 contacts on Baylor as Yassiana Presley's swing did not clear. Harrison. There's some power in that arm, the transfer from North Carolina.
Harrison, 9 matches in a row, has had double-digit kills, just been on a tear as of late. And that's the sort of play they are going to need out of her if they expect to hang here with Nebraska.
Overpass again. Hames is going to win the joust. Nebraska's block. It's set point, Cornhuskers.
A little fire there from Nicklin Hames. I think the setter got the most of that one, and you could see it in her celebration. But alongside her was number 25 there in white, Callie Schwarzenbach for Nebraska, playing really well here today as she has stepped in the place of Lauren Stivrins, out for an undisclosed injury.
Set point, Nebraska. And a service error. Still set point, Nebraska. Campbell Bowden serving for Baylor. Caffey had to reach back for it, and it caused her to hit it into the net.
Yeah, we don't see Caffey behind the setter quite as much, but in her defense there, that ball sailing off the net as she's trying to run parallel to the net on that slide play to make a play. And that was just a really difficult situation for Caffey.
3rd set point for the Cornhuskers. Presley. Back to Yassi, and it's wide. Nebraska takes set number 2, 25-17. much more comfortable here in the second set of the match. Nebraska takes a 2-set lead here in the regional semifinal. They've won 86 straight NCAA.
Able to prevent Pepperdine's two best attackers from getting the ball based on the placement of her serve. And so they have a way of really calculating that, of grading these players out, and they put a huge premium on the service game. And I'll tell you that it is a separator come tournament time.
Yeah, and we saw a difference, too, in Baylor's top attacker, Yassiana Presley. Her error numbers went up in that second set. And so a lot of the times, that service pressure, you're not going to see it on the stat sheet. It doesn't always show up, as you're talking about, Missy, as an ace, and that has affected Baylor. So, besides, you just got to pass better, because these serves are coming in hot from Nebraska.
That pressure shows up as a hitting efficiency below 100 for Yassiana Presley because they're able to create stress. Their block is there early and prepared against Yassiana.
Another free ball, back to back. Kayla Caffey in the middle.
Great job there by Kayla Caffey in terms of her transition game. Over the course of a long rally, you can lose your middle because she is jumping to block against every attack. So really hard work there for Caffey plays off as she's still available during that long rally to be an offensive threat.
Jazz Sweet on the right side is blocked. You gotta watch out.
I like the play up there by Jazz Sweet as she plays that off speed herself as the blocker, but then they go right back to her in secondary setting there. Lexi Sun sends it right back to the right side. I think you got to reverse the flow there, send it out to the left pin. The defense was really bunched up.
And Sedgwick dumps on two. And Nebraska was waiting for that one. Kayla Caffey, again, what a value, what an asset she has been. No Lauren Stiverins today for Nebraska.
And remember, Caffey is the transfer from Mizzou, new to this Nebraska team, and yet she just fits exactly in that middle blocker position, has given them exactly what they need.
Huge swing, Lauren Harrison. Is that the beast mode that Ryan McGuire was talking about, her alter ego?
He said she's got a great smile, lights up a room, but we sort of need her to go into beast mode during tournament play, and they've seen flashes of that for sure. You saw her huge celebration after that swing, and they're going to need her to turn it up.
Roll shot from Sweet. They give it back to Harrison. Kubik.
And you saw there Harrison forced to use off speed, tips it right into middle back where Lexi Sun was standing. And that's the difference you're seeing between the sophomore outside Harrison and then the senior outside in Lexi Sun, who we've seen really place her off speed so well and create confusion for the defense when she's been forced into that off speed mode.
Parise pushes it to the back corner.
Parise has really been a lift for Baylor, has given them an extra punch in her rotations across the front row. We talked about the fact that she's played such a limited volleyball because of that shin injury, and she has just been a fresh face in the lineup for Baylor. Realize two big differences between these conferences are that the Big Ten has played all of their volleyball in the spring semester. The Big 12 actually determined their conference winner in the fall and then extended their season into the spring to be ready for the tournament. So it has been a long road physically and mentally for the Baylor Bears.
It's almost like two different seasons. New right side in, number 16 in green is A.J. Cooley, the transfer from Mississippi State. Presley, yes. Yassiana Presley, this is her 99th career match in double-figure kills.
Take two on Yassiana Presley. The set coming from Callie Williams, who's now setting out of the back row. We've seen them switch setters in terms of who has setting duty. Sometimes they're both on the floor, but with AJ in the front row, Callie Williams setting across the back row. And how about that? It's going to be a big block this time up at the net. And Cooley making the absolute most of her opportunity. I'll tell you, Baylor has thrown us more curveballs maybe than anybody in the tournament. We've seen 3 different players play on the right side over there. In their last match, we saw Cassie Davis, Bree Coleman. Here comes Cooley. So they have all sorts of options. It's a deep roster. And Coach McGuire's not afraid to try a new face, give us a new look, throw somebody different out there. Of course, we mentioned the fact that Parise has been in the middle, whereas we saw a lot of Presley Anderson in the spring in that middle blocker position for them. So this is a very deep Baylor roster, down 0-2 here to Nebraska. They're going to throw everything they've got at these Cornhuskers.
And we weren't sure how long we were going to see Marika Vandermark, who did get the start in the right side position. She had missed the last 3 matches. Tied up now at 5, though, with a big block.
Here comes Schwarzenbach outside to close alongside Hames, but that is all Schwarzenbach. Look at that as she just penetrates, press over the net. That was textbook.
17 blocks for the Cornhuskers. Cooley. 18 blocks for the Cornhuskers.
Maddie Kubik, so solid, much like Lexi Sun in all 6 rotations. They serve it well, they pass it well, but how about the piece of left side blocking that we see here from Maddie Kubik, who's so physical at the net?
They are really trying to make her a Kelsey Robinson-like player, and those are some huge shoes to fill, but an all-around player is what John Cook means, that she is good in all facets of the game, including her blocking.
And of course, a former Cornhusker who had great success at the national level. And so these are young players at Nebraska who have great role models to look at and to try to mimic their game.
Kubik tries to take a swing on that tough ball. Easy point for Baylor.
Bromschreiber would love nothing more than to string together a few points for the Bears. She's been a key piece of this team, the Big 12 Libero of the Year in her first year wearing that Libero jersey.
Yeah, the first time Baylor has had a Big 12 Libero of the Year, as the Bears called in the net. We have been tied 6 times in this set. Baylor rallying. How many times do we see a swing bounce off the block straight back to the inline?
Beyond the inline. It tells you a little bit of something about the power of Yassiana Presley. This one all the way out of bounds off of the block because of the power that Presley puts into that swing.
The reigning National Player of the Year. She will return next season and use that COVID year, if you will, along with their setter, Hannah Sedgwick. Oh, Nebraska got it back, but then you run your middle, and Kara McGee quits that pretty quickly.
The effort from Akana, though, for Nebraska. No ball is going to die easily against these Nebraska defenders, but I love the fact that Baylor quickly transitions before that Nebraska defense has time to set up, go to the middle. Really good setting choice there by Sedgwick.
We got to see that point from McGee again, though, Missy.
Absolutely. You see the effort here from Nebraska as they keep balls alive, but then a great setting choice by Sedgwick. They get the ball quickly to the setter and a fast ball to the middle. Don't give Nebraska time to get situated defensively.
Baylor has come back from a deficit before in this tournament. In the second round, they trailed Pepperdine 2-1, and they won in 5 sets.
Really loving the fight I'm seeing from Baylor right here. Being down 0-2. You know, they said champions don't die easily, and they've tried to really play off of the culture of their men's basketball team and their women's basketball team, who've just had such successful runs, of course. And so, you know, we saw their coaching staff actually wearing basketball jerseys in that second round. And so they tried to really play off of that energy, and we're seeing it. This is a team that is not dying easily. In fact, they're leading by 3 here in the third set.
And Presley gets the ace. She had a string of 3 straight service errors back in set 2. Harrison. And again, Nicklin Hames, such a pro when she jousts at the net.
The intensity of Nicklin Hames' play is only matched in her celebration. As you can see, the fire that she brings to the court. That's the kind of setter I want on my side. Harrison, coach told us the offense is there, and she's improving in every other area of the game, but the offense is already there, and we are starting to see it as this match goes on.
Oh, McGee is going to set up Harrison. And Lauren Harrison wins a rally, a marathon of a rally. Her and Yassiana Presley combined for 93 swings against Pepperdine. The rest of the team had 39. It's no secret that those two are going to get the ball, yet they're still terminating.
They were defeated in round 2. The championships were in Pittsburgh. So much ahead of them a season ago, and it left a bitter taste in their mouths. But guess what? Their first trip ever to a regional semifinal, and they come away victorious.
They will get the winner of Louisville and Washington. You can see that match at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN3. That's on the ESPN app. Nebraska has taken the first 2 sets in this regional semifinal. Winner gets either Texas or Baylor.
And Baylor is not going away. Remember, this is a team who trailed Pepperdine 2-1. It was tied 25-25 in the 4th set. They said they felt like they were on life support there for a while. They find a way to pull that one out, and they continue to battle here down 0-2. Nebraska, though, inching closer.
An attacking error from Yassiana Presley. And now Lexi Sun goes back to serve, and her serve has been critical today. So spot on and has given Baylor fits. That's the 11th point Nebraska has scored off of Lexi Sun's serve this afternoon.
And she now has 5 aces to her credit. 7 total for Nebraska as a team. 5 of them belong to Lexi. That is her new career high.
She had 3 of those in the first set. Hames comes diving in. Jazz Sweet on the swing. And Presley will set up Harrison. Sweet take 2. It is Sweet. Nebraska on top.
Sweet doing a great job using the court right now, Courtney, as you are seeing her spread of offense, her range, her ability to move the ball around.
5 straight points for Nebraska. Baylor calls its first timeout in this set. these Baylor Bears trying to catch up to Nebraska. They've done a much better job here in set 3. There's a point for Baylor.
Parise continuing to have herself a really nice match when they've been able to work it into the middle. Even when she hasn't gone for a kill, she's created some issues, but hitting 500 right now. Perhaps more balls to the middle would be good for Baylor right now.
Yeah, Parise spent a couple of seasons in junior college, was a JUCO All-American, led the nation in hitting percentage last season. Lexi Sun has been on it today. Double figures for her. She's the first player for Nebraska in double-figure kills today.
Drops one right in front of the defense. Again, her off speed, her use of shots, just incredible as she is seeing the court so well. And even in the off speed and even in those plays where she's not hitting the ball full pace, she's hitting the ball at a high contact every time. She disguises that off speed very well.
Overpass cleaned up by Schwarzenbach. Don't bring that in here.
Schwarzenbacher right where she needs to be. Don't give them a second chance at that one.
She has stepped in nicely. It's a 7-1 run for Nebraska. No Lauren Stivrins today. She is day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. Maddie Kubik, 7th kill.
It's another example of a great serve from Nebraska that doesn't go for an ace, but it creates a one-option opportunity that they defend easily and get the transition there that they want outside to Maddie Kubik. Starts at the service line again for Nebraska, and it was Knuckles that time as she puts another one in play.
Knuckles saves it to Hames. All the way back to Sweet. It was not touched. Point Baylor.
The foot speed you see from Knuckles there, though, as she runs that one down. Beautiful play out of the backcourt. Just can't say enough good things about these liberos here today.
This whole tournament, I feel like we have seen liberos making incredible plays all the way since Wednesday when we started.
And isn't it interesting, as that position has been inserted into the college game, you now have players who specialize as a libero at a very young age. You know, and initially when that position was inserted into the college game, it was new to the sport of volleyball here in our country. But now you have girls who train at that position for years, and what a difference it has made in the collegiate game.
And they all go to Assumption High School. I'm just kidding. They don't go. They don't all go there.
They're all from Louisville.
Yes, a lot of them come out of Louisville for some reason. Presley getting after it. Good save by Sun. Baylor using Callie Williams to set now. Kubik. We've seen some great rallies in this match. Wow.
And again, we talk points here, and they often are the result of the defensive effort. This time it's Lexi Sun making the dive out of middle back to prolong this one for the Cornhuskers. And again, 3 blockers up, and Maddie Kubik puts it away.
We've seen 8 ties in this set alone, and now Nebraska on a 10-2 run. Swing is long.
Knuckles with a huge dig against that Yassiana Presley swing, and Nebraska had to feel good about their chances there to get a transition dig against the reigning National Player of the Year. What more can you ask of Knuckles, right? But one of the few errors from Nebraska. We'll give him that one.
Schwarzenbach off of 1 foot. Nebraska hits 25 points away from the regional final.
And Nicklin Hames just doing a great job of allowing her to play herself into this match as she's been inserted into the starting lineup, not asking too much from her early, allowing her to find her rhythm, find her confidence, and work her right into that offense.
Schwarzenbach. McGee.
McGee, a first-team All-Big 12 selection, as only a sophomore. Coach said she has really improved in terms of understanding the schemes of the game. Oftentimes that big jump from your freshman year to your sophomore year, a player with so much success a season ago, and yet you continue to see her grow.
Presley tools the block. That's 15 kills, pulls Baylor within 2 in this must-win set for the Bears.
And as you mentioned, Courtney, Baylor back into that unique 5-2, you would call it, system, where now Hannah Sedgwick will set across the front row as the taller setter. We saw Callie Williams moments ago setting across the back row.
Lexi Sun.
Hasn't had to use the power often today, but that time sort of unleashes on one right through the seam of the block.
Hames to the back corner. Presley on the roll.
Difficult transition there for Lexi Sun as she's pulled into the middle of the court to pick up the off speed. Isn't quite able to get back around outside to take a full swing at that ball. They can make another great deep run in the tournament again this year.
Baylor has to win this set to extend the match. Densberger serving. Hames to Caffey. Off the hands of Baylor.
Again, Nicklin Hames, great use of the middle in transition when the defense doesn't really have time to establish itself, and a great work ethic there by Kayla Caffey, who's doing such a great job in transition to always be available. That is a lot of steps for a middle blocker, let me tell you.
Kubik out of the back, difficult point for Baylor.
Didn't quite look like Nebraska in rhythm there out of the backcourt. Maddie Kubik a little early, or the set a little high, the timing not quite there. But then, of course, do realize that is Kara McGee. Really great blocker across the net there. Maddie Kubik knows that she has to swing around that big block of Kara McGee, and she is a threat in terms of her block.
Well, she's third in the nation in blocks. Sun will get a swing off. Kayla Caffey, it is match point Nebraska.
Baylor twice in that long rally trying to get the ball to Presley out of the back row. That is how much they depend on her attack.
For a spot in the regional final. Attacking error, Nebraska moves on.
No Lauren Stivrins, no problem for the Cornhuskers. Impressive match. Started off a little shaky, but wow, did they settle in and find their way.
Nebraska ends on a 16-6 run. We will see them for the 9th straight time in the regional final. They will face either Penn State or Texas